approach, which Magnus often prefers, just d3, containing the centre, and going for b4, getting space. And I'm going to ask Harry's opinion on this position after bishop b3. Certainly not my speciality, this problem.
Why do you make me say all the philosophical thing in these positions? I mean, you keep getting this position.
I know. And I mean, if you're watching yesterday, you probably learned some lessons, Harry.
There is no concrete stuff, but this is, as I see, Magnus clearly knows what he is doing as he is playing pretty quick. I think Hikaru is thinking whether he should go for d4 or not, so he goes for a6. And I expect something like e3 bishop e2. If you compare this position with what's it called, Philidor. Yeah, the Philidor.
Yes.
And usually the bishop is stuck on e2, but in this case the bishop is already on b3.
That's a good point. Yeah. You know what I often do in those positions? I often go h3 g4, but that doesn't surprise you, does it?
Simon, calm down. It is not a position where you go h3 g4.
No, it's not. Not really. I mean, it's much more effective in pawns than h6. You don't do it here, but it's a good Philidor position. White is solid, and often in the Philidor, well, I say often, but I think some of these structures, you actually go. There's a line where you go queen d8 and bring the bishop around like this anyway, right?
Yes.
That's in not the Philidor as such, but when they play d4 and you play some system, I remember that being a line. So if the bishop's here, you often move the queen and then try to get your bishop here. So it is a good version of that. But of course, black is solid here as well, right? So
I was actually, I mean, I was obviously listening to you, but I was looking at other games, and I saw Timur Rajabov and so Wesley drew just exactly the same way Timur Rajabov and Nakamura drew.
Okay, so Rajabov, Wesley So.
This can be called Rajabov variation if Berlin endgame can be called Niepo's draw.
Yeah. But some players you can kind of predict might have a draw, and I'm going to have to watch out for that tomorrow. So, for example, Wesley So versus Hikaru. That's another one which I think could have a very quick draw.
I think basically.
knight d6 and get that one off the board.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to see the facial reactions of some of the players, right? I mean, you can see Hikaru is very expressive. He's a very expressive player. You can sort of always, tell his thoughts there. Magnus keeping everything to himself. I mean, the bishop on a1 at the moment looks horrendous, though, right?
Yeah.
So if you can control this position, this bishop is really bad. So can you control this position, this bishop?
I'm afraid it's not easy because you need to protect knight d6 idea. So you probably want to go bishop to a3, but then I have white can go maybe c4 and things like that. 92.
Sorry. Right. So this one.
Yeah.
And that's much better. Just get rid of that pawn, and the draw looks very likely there, right?
Yeah.
So okay. So not the worst result in the world, getting a draw with Magnus, but by the looks of Hikaru faces, it could be.
It means nothing. I already told in some of the streams, so it's better not to pay too much attention to his face.
Okay.
Actually, it's maybe better to have for his opponent without camera. That will not confuse him.
He reminds me of Kasparov a bit, Harry. Again, I know Ali Race does, but
he did get training from Garry Kasparov for a brief period. So
facial training.
Simon, it's too much for one day.
I mean, no, because Gary was very famous for his expressions.
Yeah.
It's really great to watch him. He was like, very, very, and a bit like Jan Nepo. And I think it's good for chess. I like seeing the expressions come through actually on the thing. But okay.